Hey guys, I'm your host, the J-Man. Welcome to my video. And today we're going to be discussing UFC and particularly Chuck Liddell, his future. And I want to discuss all the controversy surrounding Chuck Liddell and his career, and people going around and saying this guy's over the hill, he needs to hang up the gloves and retire. He can't get it done anymore, and it's becoming sad and embarrassing. I really want to address this topic and just spill my opinion, get that out there, and see what you guys think as well. We all know Chuck Liddell's most recent fight was his comeback match, and he had been out for quite a while, and this was his comeback fight against Rich Franklin. It was supposed to be against Tito Ortiz, so he was preparing for that fight with Tito, and then Tito had to pull out, and they brought in Rich Franklin, and you know that poses a problem for Chuck. It's not exactly fair because he was preparing for a guy that was a lot different than Rich Franklin, and in my opinion, Rich Franklin is kind of a higher caliber opponent, so it makes it tougher on Chuck, and it's kind of a mismatch in my opinion. It was kind of a mismatch, even though Chuck did his thing. He came out swinging, and unfortunately he got hit. He left himself open, he took a shot, and he was knocked out by Rich Franklin in the first round. But he did manage to break Franklin's arm with some powerful striking. You know, that's Chuck Liddell's style right there. So after the loss, Dana White was adamant about saying Chuck Liddell is going to retire. He has to retire. I'm not going to let him fight again. He's done. And I think that's not fair. That's not Dana White's decision to make. It should be completely up to Chuck Liddell whether or not he wants to continue fighting. His heart and soul's in it. He loves fighting and competing in the sport. And I just feel like because he's changed his whole lifestyle, his whole attitude towards training and fighting, and he's in the best shape of his life, I say let him keep going. I want to see him get back in there, and I think he has a lot more to offer. You know, people give him a lot of criticism. It was this most recent knockout, but that was his return bout, and anytime you make a return fight and after some layoff time, you're going to be a little rusty. So that, on top of he had an opponent that he wasn't really prepared for, I'd say that's the reason why he did so poorly. But had he gone in there and fought Tito Ortiz and knocked him out like he normally does against Tito, he usually beats Tito by KO, and I think he's got Tito's number. You know, who's to say that Tito couldn't have changed things up? But my point is that if Chuck Liddell had knocked out Tito, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. People wouldn't have been saying, oh, Chuck Liddell needs to retire, blah, blah, blah. He's too old, he's too weak, things like that. And I say, hey, look at Randy Couture. I mean, how can you say that Randy Couture doesn't need to retire when Chuck Liddell does? It doesn't make any sense to me. Look at all the losses that Randy Couture has had recently. I mean, besides the huge loss to Brock Lesnar, which was clearly physically outmatched, even back when he lost that third fight to Chuck Liddell, you know, people were saying he needs to retire, and what did he do? He came back and he defeated the heavyweight champion. Not only did he defeat him, he destroyed him, and then he went on to have a successful run as a champion until he got beat by Brock. But you know, he's still going. He went back to 205, and look at him. He's cranking out wins again. He's got that win over Brandon Vera, the win over other guys too. Who did he beat? Mark Coleman. He beat him, and yeah, man. So if Randy Couture could do it, why not Chuck Liddell? Allow Chuck Liddell to work on his wrestling and be able to use that to his advantage, and maybe he can evolve as a fighter. But I really think they should give Chuck Liddell a chance to redeem himself, and I want to see that happen. Alright, so I'm going to end my my portion of this video right here, and I'm going to open it up for Hat Trick Hockey 17 to take over. Make sure you click the link to follow over to his video. He's going to give you his opinion. And I want to thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you comment, and I'll see you next time.